friends, it's Claire Hughes. I'm an empowerment coach for women who are ready to break through fears, change their mindset, set and meet goals to build their confidence and live as their truest self. If you've seen me before, say hello in the chat below. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're up to. So yesterday I touched on fears and gave you a little exercise to turn your thinking around to help empower yourself. And today I'm going to touch on the fears again because I know I go into this a lot because it really does affect a lot of people and their self-esteem, and we carry it around with us, and it's working. It's I'm like stumped. I'm so out of it today. So it's the fears carry around with us, and it's not really working to get them where they want to be, and it's really killing their dreams. So the one thing that really does kill the dreams is their fear of failure and their lack of self-confidence that they need to overcome the fears to and see. So let me start again. The one thing that kills a great dream that, for people is a fear of failure and their lack of self-confidence that's needed to overcome this fear and improve their abilities. So we have fears, and the big one is fear of failure. And when it's an extreme fear, it's known as a tachyphobia, which it's a real thing and it's extreme. I'm hoping that some of you don't have that. You just have fear of failure, and we'll go through a few things that may have caused it. But it keeps you from trying things. It stalls your progress. It creates self-doubt, to mention a few of the situations that it puts you in. And many of the times, fear of failure comes from patterns in your childhood. For example, if you had really critical parents, it may have caused you to always want to ask for their permission and get reassurance for your actions. This need probably has carried through the years into your adulthood, and now you're still seeking validation, maybe from a boss or a coworker or your partner. There could have been trauma or an embarrassing event that caused you to really stay in that place of fear, and it continued to grow throughout life. Does this sound like you at all? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. Perfectionism is another creator of fear of failure. And we have to realize that failure is going to happen. Perfectionism isn't an option. And the last thing you want to do if you're a perfectionist is step outside your comfort zone, because to fail for perfectionist is incredibly scary. There's also fake self-confidence. Those of us with real confidence know that there will always be failures and successes, but those with fake false confidence avoid risk, and they would rather play things safe and not really put themselves out there and try something new because they just are afraid that they're going to fail so badly. There are other issues that create fear of failure, but those are a few more common reasons that we need to be aware of, and each of these can affect our relationship, our education, our jobs. If you don't perform at your top level, because it could just go terribly wrong. It could be imperfect, and you'd be so embarrassed and humiliated if things weren't perfect and you failed. But perfect doesn't exist. Stop waiting and expecting things to be perfect. Stop putting things on hold for perfection, because it just really doesn't exist. Fear of failure can be so bad to some people that they end up quitting jobs, self-sabotaging relationships, all to avoid failure. And hopefully you think about your life, and if you have any of these fears that are in there, because it's important to work on each day to get through it. If you find that it's extreme and you're not really able to work on it on your own, you might want to seek counseling or therapy. For me, I had childhood trauma, and to this day, I still can't recall a lot of my childhood. People would tell stories and show me photos, and it could have been anybody. To me, it wasn't me. I didn't remember most of it. My trauma created the need to please other people and seek approval by authority figures. I had awful money mindset issues. I needed validation for my achievements and sought approval for all that I've done. And it really did follow through my years. I was just a complete mess. So I had a lot of work to do. And I had to ask myself a lot of hard and messy questions to break through the fear of failure that my trauma may have created. And the best treatment I found for my fears was not medication. It's just being self-motivated, to take action, to break the task that I needed to accomplish into small, doable pieces. And I had to reward myself when I accomplished them. And doing this showed me that the world didn't end. When I did these tasks, I just grew a little bit more. So it's important to really try to figure out what it is that you're afraid of and take small steps and little actions to break through that fear. And what we have to realize is that failure is one of our greatest teachers. It shows us that where our skills are and where we need to be and what we need to work on. So it's important that we have failures in our life, and we need to welcome them because they help us grow, and we need to learn to not fear them. Because when you stay in fear of failure, when you actually make mistakes and fail, as we all do and we all will, the action of failing will hit you a lot harder than most people. Failure is inevitable. It's essential and part of life. So connect failure to growth, to gain ownership of your efforts, and know failure when it will enable you to achieve your successes in your life, and that's what we're all striving for. So let's try to see failure as something that's going to bring you success and a happy life. And by successful, I don't mean monetary. I don't mean it in a money sense. I mean in a confident, happy, and joy-filled life. So take this time to really sit back and think about things and invest in yourself. Recognize what's holding you back and work on it. And I hope you think about this information that I've shared and take your actions to change your life. If you're ready to get started, take some time to build an incredible life, message me. I'd love to help you out. Let's get started. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to speaking with you. Take care. See ya.